So, welcome to our knitting space. I'm going to try to not get distracted by historical TV moments on Canadian programming and television from when I was a child, and say welcome back if you're a returning listener, and hi and hello, and join the conversation if you're a new listener. I'm glad you guys checked us out, or checking back in, however you'd like to do this. Apologies, over the last couple of weeks we've had a little bit of adjustment issues as we get used to Diana being a 9 to 5 job lady again. And our recording schedule, while the same, the editing process has gotten a little interesting. Which is fine, that's life, it's what happens, things occur, and we will iron out a system, so I'm not too terribly worried about it. Diana, what are we going to cover this week?
This week we are covering... Let's bring it over here so I can face the microphone while I talk.
Hey!
What's in our cup? Woolly workings, yarn on the go, so little time, a little bit of theoretical spinning, events, and a magazine review.
Woohoo!
What are we drinking this week?
What aren't we drinking this week?
What aren't you drinking this week? I've only got one beverage.
Man. Okay, so I have a drinking problem. I like water, and lots of tea, and I like liquid. Yeah. Anyway, right now, in my teacup, I currently have a cup of the Goodnight blend from Twinnings. It is my favorite chamomile blend of tea. Always delightful after a nice big dinner. Just helps, mellow everything out, get you into a calm sense of go. And my usual Canadian dry ginger ale, because in my mind it's the best pop. By the way, won't drink it when I'm sick.
What?
If I have a head cold or if I have the flu, I will not drink ginger ale. I don't want it when I'm ill, which is traditionally when everybody wants ginger ale.
Yeah.
I'm not even remotely interested in it. I only really want it when I'm feeling healthy.
Interesting.
So there's an interesting piece of trivia about me that I'm sure all the listeners wanted to know.
About when you have your desires for ginger ale.
Absolutely. For me, it's a pop, so it's like other people's Coke or Dr. Pepper or, diet whatever beverage. But for me, that's just ginger ale's my go-to. Just regular drinking pop.
Well, speaking of drinking problems,
Oh, yes.
my tea has rum in it, or rather is flavored with rum.
Flavored with rum.
Our partner's parents just came back from a trip to Newfoundland, so one of the things they brought back was some tea flavored with the local rum, which is Screech, I think is the brand. So I have Screech tea, which is non-alcoholic, but flavored with rum.
But flavored with rum.
I have rum-flavored tea.
Oh, does it taste good?
It does, actually. It's quite nice.
It smelled nice in the bag. Oh dear, I haven't seen their parents yet. I don't know what little doodad thing might have come home for me. Well, no, that's not true. I saw Mum, but it was fairly late at night, and me and Mr. B were on our way through because he was walking me home, so I don't know.
Oh.
Their postcard showed up just yesterday in the mail for me, so it was delightful. I love getting postcards. My niece didn't know what a postcard was. That was an interesting conversation. Felt my age right there.
I didn't realize postcards were that gone.
They're pretty rare. It's like getting mail that isn't a bill.
Yeah, okay.
She's used to seeing me get, because I have people who write me all the time because I like writing letters and people write letters back, so it's always enjoyable. Then there's the Great Christmas mail out. She sees that, so she knows stuff gets mailed that isn't bills or promotional materials. But for the most part, who sends postcards anymore? People I know, but even then it's kind of rare.
I don't remember the last time I got a postcard before this last time.
I had a friend who was did a lot of teaching English as a second language, so I had a lot of postcards from around the world. Kinda cool.
It's pretty cool.
Super cool.
I send the niece and nephew postcards when I go to other countries.
Oh, I send people postcards when I travel inside my own country. I don't have to leave my country to do that.
5-year-old thinks postcards are super cool. Apparently the 10-year-old does too.
Excellent. Super glad to know all kids think postcards are cool.
Getting stuff in the mail is just cool.
It is.
So long as it's not a bill. Bills aren't cool.
I find if you want to balance that out as an adult, there's this wonderful thing called subscription boxes. It's like getting a present every month. Love it. And you look forward to it because you know it's going to show up at some point. And then you don't mind if the bills show up, because you know if something fun's coming too.
True. Those bills generally don't show up in the mail.
No. Magazines, those are always fun to get in the mail. I used to have a subscription to the Globe and Mail for years, until my vision got bad enough that I couldn't read newsprint anymore. I'd get up and read that in the morning before I went to work, but I've been a morning person, so I apologize. Still a morning person. I'm a fan of waking up with the sun at the crack of dawn, and excited to go to bed early.
7 o'clock seems like a quite sufficiently early time to get up to me.
It's alright, but I feel like I've slept in at that point, so what do I know?
Well, that was a very long what's in our cup.
That's not uncommon.
What's in our brain?
Roughly, yeah.
Ah. How are your woolly workings this week?
My woolly workings are extremely monogamistic this week. Is that even a word? I'm going to say it's a word. We're going to go with that.
Sure.
I have been working on exactly 2 things.
Oh my goodness. We're matching.
Yep.
We're really determined to get things done.
Yes, we are. We are driven people this week. I have been continuing work on my 365 Granny Square project. I am highly suspicious I am the only one of the 3 of us still sticking to our word and doing the project as is. I suspect Red may have also given up the ghost on that one, though I'm not sure. I haven't talked to her about it yet. The last time we were talking about knitting, she was here, and we were discussing her sweater that she was making. She was working on a baby sweater out of leftover ends and stuff, just to get rid of some yarn.
It's a very cute looking baby sweater.
It was. It looked really good on somebody. I don't know. Some random child down the line, I guess.
Yep.
No rush. Oh, we're coming to you from the not-so-sunny Osborne Village in Winnipeg, Manitoba. We are, overcast today?
Yeah, it's been threatening rain all day. Hasn't happened yet.
We're into the mid to high 20s all the time pretty consistently. So, for early June, we kind of went to summer.
Yep.
Hardcore. And they're...
Yep.
On the bright side, it's lowered the baseline mosquito counts, so that's not too bad.
Yeah, I think I've only seen 1 or 2 mosquitoes.
Oh, I've been eaten alive, but not as much as I am most years, so I'll take it. That's what happens when you're tasty.
Yeah, I realized I had a couple of bites after the weekend, but not too bad.
Excellent. Anyway, so no, I've been working on that. I'm doing the videos via Yarn Utopia. If I don't like the video, I will either go find a pattern I do like or just make a basic square to keep working on my tension and keep up with my dates. I would probably be spending more time hunting down alternative patterns, but I'm pretty tied up with my other project right now, so I'm not dedicating as much time as I'd like to it. Still love the crocheting. I'm super excited, and things have been added to my queue that are crocheting patterns, so I will not be putting down my crochet hook anytime soon when I'm finished. And I've definitely been garnering a lot of basic skills, which are so handy to have and so wonderful, just even in knitting projects. So even as a knitter, you kind of gotta know how to crochet even just a little bit. Help pick up stitches, and doing decorative edge details on shawls and stuff. Like there's a lot of little things that creep up in there. So I'm quite happy to expand upon that skill set, and I really enjoy crocheting. So. Though, I won't lie, the crocheting bigger projects is a lot funner. There's something about crochet. Funner? That's a word.
Funner? It can be funner.
Spending too much time with my niece, guys. I'm sorry. Too much time with the niece. I've been enjoying the bigger projects that I've done on the crochet. So, my mom's Afghan blanket. I'm definitely going to be doing another one for myself, because that was really, really enjoyable. It was just... Oh, and it came together so quickly. It was beautiful.
I have a corner-to-corner Afghan, all the yarns purchased, the patterns ready to go. I have big plans, and I'll start it eventually.
Sure.
Yeah.
Probably about the time I start mine.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
Oh, what have you been working on?
I am currently, as we speak, still trying to finish the textured triangle shawl. I'm into section 4!
Hey, that's a start. That's the biggest section.
To section 4, and, yeah, I don't know. It's coming. It's coming along. It looks good. It looks a bit small, so I'm probably going to do some repeats of sections because I've got a lot of yarn left over. Particularly green. I have a lot of green left over, so I really
Well, the green was the garter section. You should describe what yarns and pattern you're using.
Right. So this is the Textured Triangle Shawl by Marley Bird?
Oh no, Marley Bird hosted the knit along.
Marley Bird hosted the knit along. Oh,
it's a free pattern available on Red Heart Yarns.
I have it sitting right here. Rustle, rustle, rustle. Oh, I threw the part with the designer on the ground.
Well done.
I threw it on the ground. Okay. Designed by Diane Moyer. Moyer?
Why did I say Moyer?
It sounds fancier if it's Moyer.
Sure, works for me.
Anyway, free red heart pattern. It is a triangular shawl with some garter stitch lace sections. It's all very, very basic sort of a pattern, but it comes out into a very large, very squishy, very nice shawl. And I am doing it out of Red Heart Soft Classic in dark leaf for the stockinette sections and wheat for the garter stitch lace sections.
So a wonderful dark foresty green and a nice kind of golden,
they're very, very descriptive colors.
Yeah, golden-y kind of wheat.
It's a wheat color.
Yeah, no, definitely. They're quite died true to their names.
Oh, yeah. So I'm just still plugging away. And I'm almost done. Except that I'm going to have to make it bigger. So I'm not almost done. But back. My goodness, I will have this done for Stash Dash.
You have it done, or if you decide it's big enough on its own with what I will always take a donation of that soft yarn to the 365-day project.
True.
Because that is the yarn I'm working on for my Granny Square project. Is all in the Classic Softs series of Red Heart yarns, which I'm really enjoying. And in which case it doesn't matter because I have all sorts of colors, and there'll be even more colors. Because I must only buy one skein of every color. So by the end of the year, it's going to be ridiculous.
I'm thinking I might just, when I finish section 4, I might just start again at section 1 and just keep going until I run out of yarn.
Yeah, why not? See how big it can get.
So I think that's probably what I'll do, because I have way more green than wheat left over, and section 1 uses exclusively green. So.
Yeah. That's a really good idea. It also will let me know how much yarn you use for when I want to make that knit shawl again, and I double it easily. I know it's a giant shawl, but I'm a 5'10" tall woman with a 55-inch wingspan?
I don't remember.
Was that it's like, no.
Big.
20.
Wingspan
Yes,
long.
My wingspan's about 55 inches, I think. So 54 and a bit or 55 and a bit inches from wrist to wrist. So, not so big on me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Normal sized on me.
Well, the pattern actually calls for the Soft Essentials, which is a bulky weight, so I'm using a worsted weight, so it is obviously coming out much smaller than it's supposed to.
Oh, I did the bulky weight, and it's still not that big on me.
It's not that big, but it's a lot bigger than mine.
Well, yeah. I would just repeat it, and I think I'm going to double my yarn and do it out of the Soft Essentials when they release their fall colors, and do a nice rich fall colored one in a double size, so... Because, you know, I need more things to do this year.
Well, I mean, you do have more years to your life. You can you can do these things in subsequent years.
Yes, I can. It doesn't all need to be done this year.
You don't turn into a pumpkin at the end of the year.
I don't know. I might. You don't know, man.
I'd be really impressed if you did.
So would I. Human to gourd. What? It's an interesting transformation. Killing Diana.
Yep.
The other thing I've been working on, since we've both just been working on two things, is the Mystery Knit-Along, the Starting Point Shawl. I am actually currently working on Clue 3. That's right, Clue the 3rd. And I started Clue the 1st week and a half, 2 weeks ago.
I'm so impressed.
This is a lot of fingering weight shawl knitting, guys.
It looks so good, though.
Mm-hmm.
I need to make one. I was saying earlier how I was cheating and I'd looked at some of the finished pictures that other people have done.
You can totally do, because you're
I'm
not weird
not doing,
like me and insisting
I'm also
that
not doing the mystery aspect
of it,
or the knit-along aspect, because I think I've proven that I'm not good at knitting along or crocheting along, or I'm not good at that.
Deadlines are not your thing.
Deadlines in my hobbies are not my thing. Deadlines at work, fantastic motivators. Deadlines in my hobbies, no.
Nope.
Hate deadlines in my hobbies.
Got it. That's fair. I'm doing my Mystery Point Starting Knit Along. It's by Hohi Locotelli. I've got to be getting closer. I'm probably not. I'm probably still butchering the name. I just need to stop saying it. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. It's a starting point mystery knit along. It is all over the interwebs. It is very interesting for me to avoid finished photos of. I'm still sort of successful at it. I'm not counting the ones, like, a couple of the people that we follow on Instagram have finished it and posting photos. And I'm not counting the ones where one lady she was artfully wrapped her baby in it. Like, I'm not counting that as cheating, because that tells me she's got color pattern rotation. Like, I'm not seeing the fully laid out ones, which is really the ones I'm trying to super avoid. But anyway, I'm off topic already. I'm doing mine out of a Barocco? Yes. Cotton for most of my solid colors. So my colors 1, 2, 4, and 5 are in the Barocco cotton, which is a cotton rayon mix. No, 100% cotton mix is this one. And then color number 3, which is the variegated yarn, is done in the Ancient Art Yarns in the Great Blue Huron colorway, which matched up so well. I just, thank you, Daddy. My father stood with me in Wolseley Wool, one of the 2 local yarn shops here in the city, and helped me match these colors, and he did an amazing job helping me match these colors.
Astounding, like, they match perfectly.
The undertones, it's all these beautiful bluey gray colored toneways. I don't even know how he did this, but it just, yeah, he even got the right shade of white going on in here, because I would have gone with a harsher white, but he went with like a cream white. Oh, yeah, I don't know how my dad did it, but he helped me match the colors up so well.
Perfect.
So well. So I'm so excited that he was able to help me do that. Anyway. Clue the Third. So theoretically, this is the second half of Clue the Third. That's right. You have to do each clue twice to make this shawl. So I should theoretically be on Clue the Fourth, if not finishing by next podcast. Ideally, I'd like to be finishing my next podcast, but I do have other things I need to do, so I might not be finishing. I might be doing the second half of Clue 4 next week.
We have a bet or an offer, a motivator.
A motivator. I work well with deadlines, even in my hobbies.
The pattern gets released as a full pattern, no longer part of a knit along, as of June 23rd.
I believe so, yes.
So we're counting that as the knit along is over that day, and I have told Jocelyn that if she has all the knitting finished by June 23rd, I will buy her a fancy coffee.
Guys, just fancy coffee on the lane. Gotta get it done.
And I mean, there's like 5 fancy coffee shops in this neighborhood.
Oh my god.
You can have your pick of all the fancy coffee.
So many options. And of course, we'll have to take her knitting. And I'll be working on something else at that point. It also will be nice to be working on something else at that point. I'm not used to being quite this monogamous of a knitter. So this has been an interesting challenge that way for me. It's a thing. Hey, the balls of yarn are getting smaller and this shawl is getting larger. So I will be excited. I'm doing it again. Like, I already know I'm going to do it again, but I'm going to play around with the colors and do something different.
I also really want to make one.
Oh, it's so pretty. Ah, I'm loving the cotton. I've not knitted in a cotton before, and I'm really enjoying the feel of the cotton when I'm knitting, so I'm kind of liking it, guys. I might become a cotton knitter. Crazy. But that's what I've been working on. What else have you been working on, Diana?
My only other thing is the Belle Rose shawl by Martina Bain.
Yep.
That was the first Strict Knit Club package this year. It came to me in February. I'm still about half done. I imagine it would go faster if I knit more than like 2 rows at a time.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just perpetually about half done. But, so the Strict Knit Club, you get the yarn for the project and the pattern, which will be some kind of shawl pattern by Martina Bain. And she's
How would you say no, though? Have you seen her shawls and her
I know, like...
Oh my god!
She's among my favorite shawl designers.
She
does fingering weight shawls in wool.
Yep.
Those are all of my favorite words. So, the Belle Rose is done out of Sheep en Soie in Remembering Rose. So it is a rosy pink color, and the yarn is a single ply, 80% merino, 20% silk. So it's just ever so slightly tonal in its in the way it took the color, and
It's so nice.
It's a very pretty color.
I just kind of want to rub the yarn on my face.
I may have done that multiple times. It's
so
very nice yarn.
Soft. Ugh, it's got to knit beautifully.
It is really nice. I'm doing it on my wooden needles.
Oh, yes.
Because silk is slippery.
Yes, it is.
So the wood is nice and helps grip it, and haven't had any dropped stitches. Of course, now that I've said that, I'm going to drop some stitches.
Well, you know, I have random extra yarn overs that are making this shawl artisanal until I close them up. That's fine. I know how to fix it after the fact. That's not the problem for me.
Well, I mean, your yarn overs are in garter stitch, so it's easier to fix. If
yes.
If I drop a stitch in the lace bit,
oh yeah, no, you got a lot more trouble on your hands.
Have to
my
do the lace bit
have
again.
been in garters, so. But I'm not considering them fiber flubs because I don't consider it a flub. It's just
a thing that happened.
Things that happened, and I can fix it quite quickly and easily at the end. So. But that's.
I managed to not flub this week, so I'm happy.
Ooh! Oh, I should tell everybody we're trying to make the hashtag Woolly Workings a thing on Instagram.
Oh yes, I mean all the segment titles. We're trying to
make them Instagrammable.
Make them a thing. But,
on the bright side, if any of our followers do Instagram, if they do the hashtag or tag us in the photo, we would love to see what everybody else's woolly workings are. That would be super cool.
Yeah, it'd be cooler than seeing my 6 things that I've used the hashtag on.
All the time. I've started, finally. You'll get to see my stuff now, too, so. And one day, I promise, I will start uploading the bazillion photos I have to upload onto Ravelry that are the granny squares. Oh my goodness, it's such a big project.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. My squares are all up to date, all 60-something of them.
I have like 100 and...
However many you're supposed to have?
70?
Like 100, at least 100 more squares than I do.
Yeah, I got a lot of squares, and I think I've uploaded like 4 photos. Oh man, guys. Failing at that one. Okay. But that's our woolly workings. Anyway, let's do some yarn on the go.
Yeah. So, we went a place. Well, we went many places.
I travel a lot. Before we even got to Saturday, I was going places.
Okay, well, how about you do your places leading up to Saturday?
So many places. No, Thursday, we did knitting. So we had knit club here at Diana's. Red was able to make it down. So it was the 3 of us chilling out. Now, we're like the 3 original knit club members. Others have come and gone. Most of them. Like, I'd love to see all of the ladies come back, if I'm honest about it. Everybody who tried and wasn't sure about it, or they're still learning, like, I'm just like, yeah, no. Dude, absolutely, whatever level you're at. I think it'd be great to just have a room full of women in and about the same age range. Because then we're all sort of at the same kind of level in life. We all, some of us have partners, some of us don't. Some of us are married, some of us aren't. There's that nice mix.
Some have houses, some don't.
Yeah. And we've got varying lifestyles, but we all seem to gel really well, which is like really perfect.
I think we all have that nerd streak.
Oh, we're all nerds.
I mean, besides the obvious fiber knitting streak, we have the nerd streak.
We all fit into that sort of board gaming, card playing,
sci-fi fantasy, book reading, show watching
kind of nerdum. Yeah. No, we all fit into that, which is, I think, that underlying theme that carries us through the differences that we do have as persons. But anyway, it was you, me, and Reds on Thursday. And I had to run like a million errands Thursday before I got here. So thankfully, I got rescued by the non-uncle. He's my uncle's best friend, and he's been around and he's known me since I was in diapers. So he's a lifelong family friend. So he's an uncle.
Sure.
For all intents and purposes.
Effectively, yeah.
He was able to rescue me and help me get around and do all the things I had to do. So I had, like, extra time at Wolseley Wool this past week.
Oh, dear.
Which is never safe for my wallet.
Dangerous. Dangerous words.
I feel like the words danger, Will Robinson, danger. Had to come out of my mouth. So I was in there, and I had gone for a specific purpose. I was finally getting those, wooden needles that I had that had broken replaced. They were the US size ones, so like the 2.25 millimeters.
The really tiny sock size needles.
Yeah, the really tiny sock size needles, which is I think is like a US one is 2.25 millimeters, I think, or 2.5 millimeters, One of the two.
I don't know. I don't have any handy.
That's okay. We can link them in the show notes. No, I have no idea. They're still in the package, so I can send you that information if we'd like to. And to get one ball of Barocco Summer Silk. Just one ball of yarn and replace one pair of needles. That is all I needed to do. I took down my 2 other balls of yarn to make the Bendy Arrow shawl. And this is going to be done out of the Hedgehog Fibers Poison colorway, which is a dark black cherry to a sort of brighter under cherry. There's a color underneath the cherry red, but I'm not picking it up like it could be a blue. I think it's a blue-red. I don't think it's an orange-based red. I think it's a blue-red.
No, it's definitely a blue-red.
Anyway, this is beautiful dark colorway, and I paired it with a white, and I mean white, ball of Summer Silk. And I needed one more ball of the Summer Silk, because the Summer Silk comes in 50 grams. So when I finally ran across the Bendy Arrow shawl, and it requires 2 100-gram balls of yarn to make, my brain went, oh yes. Oh, buckets of yes. This is going to be amazing. It is going to be bold and vibrant, and the color change between the black cherry red to that white is just going to highlight the pattern so much. I can't wait to start. I mean, our listeners don't know, or they may know, they may remember. We might have long-time listeners. I don't know. People talk to me on Ravelry. I'm lonely. No?
We want to pretend we have friends.
Do they like me? No. Anybody out there? The idea had been that we would like to do a knit along at some point. Knowing Diana's aversion to deadlines, there will be a starting point, and then there will be a whenever we're finished point. Because I'm fine not having a deadline, and we most certainly will make sure that if we can match it up with when everybody else is doing similar ones, so people can, like, sextuple dip, should they so desire. I really, yeah, please. All the hashtags you can add to it to just jump in with everything else will be totally fine. But I finally found the pattern for the shawl, and we really wanted to do one in a fingering weight that involved some silk or some linen, like a nice summery one. So I'm super excited to get going on that, which will probably be like next year at the rate I'm going. The pattern's decided, the yarn has been bought. I need to print off the pattern, tuck it in its bag till it's good to go, make sure the needles are in there with it, and then whenever we start it, we start it. But there's a pattern for that yarn, which is exactly what I needed to do. Now here's where we get to the dangerous part. I may have tripped and bought more yarn.
Tripped and bought more yarn.
Fallen down, got distracted with, I touched yarn.
And then it leapt off the shelves and had to come home with you.
Any of us who are knitters, I touched the yarn. I know better. I shouldn't have touched yarn. As soon as you touch the yarn, what happens?
Well, it comes home with you.
It has to come home with you because it's pretty and it's soft. And there were bright variegated yarn skeins of yarn. Well, what's my weakness? Brightly colored variegated skeins of yarn. So with all the summer fingering weight, brightly colored variegated skeins of yarn, the new table for the new product that had come out was all set up. So I had to buy 2 more skeins, which is fine. There is a purpose to the skeins. I can justify. They are the, I want to say Ale-greeya, because it's Alegra. I know that is not how it's pronounced, but my brain goes Ale-greeya, because that is how it's spelled.
Gonna guess it's Ale-greeya, but I like Ale-greeya.
Super bad Jocelyn pronunciation right there. And I don't know the name of the colorways because I didn't write them down before I left for the apartment today. But that's fine. One of the skeins is a white base, and it's a nice, clean, I like crisp summer white. There's a difference between winter white and summer white in my mind. A summer white has almost got like this day glow white going to it, like it is white. And very distinct. There's no cream base undertones, no blue undertones. It is
white
very,
like a daisy is white.
Yeah, like daisy white. That's a good way of describing it. And it comes with flecks of a nice sort of blueberry blue and dark purple.
Ooh.
Is the first skein.
Right, that's that one that... Yes.
Yeah. And then I got another skein in the same brand, but this one goes from pinks and oranges and sort of rusty reds into like a lime minty green, and then into a neutral base. So those are 2 of the 7 skeins I need for the Find Your Fade shawl.
2 of 7.
So I'm gonna do a lot of variegated yarn, and I don't care. I like bright, bold patterns, whatever. Who cares? And colorways. So I'm gonna get one more of the Ale-greeya. I'm so pronouncing that wrong, and I don't even care anymore. To be on the other end. So I'm going to use the pinks and rusty oranges to start, and then I'm going to move in and make that white my middle sort of cut color, and then I'm going to move into the blues and the purples at the other end of the Find Your Fade shawl.
That sounds like a very solid color plan.
I'm thinking this is going to work. So after I've got the third one for the other end, I only need 4 more in the middle. So I only need to go buy 5 more skeins of yarn. That's fine. That's totally doable.
Right, yeah.
Because, whatever, my dad's in town. He'll help.
Oh, well, in that case, go for it.
He's
Get
back,
what you can.
He's back in town for a week we're Canadian, so, this may not be a holiday for everybody else, but July the 1st is Canada's birthday. So because it falls on a Wednesday this year, my dad is taking his first vacation week from work.
It's actually a Saturday.
Is it a Saturday?
It's a Saturday.
I thought it was a Wednesday this year.
No, it's a Saturday, because I get the following Monday off.
Well, everybody gets the following Monday off if it's a Saturday for vacation time. See, now I feel like I have to check to make sure he's not gone crazy.
I'm like 90% sure it's a Saturday.
It is a Saturday, so I don't know what he's talking about. Anyway, they're coming home for the week of July long. That was their plan. You know what he's probably looking at? He's probably looking at June when he was making plans. That'd be my dad. Which is fine. I don't mind. They're going to be in town for a week. We've got a lot of stuff to do around the house, and it's always nice to have an extra vehicle in town for a week, so that's going to be the big summer visiting this year. Which is totally cool.
We were talking about how you bought yarn.
Yes. So, less than an hour later, I walk out with 3 balls of yarn and a new set of needles to replace the broken set of needles. But that's okay. I've got my start on the Find Your Fade shawl, which is good because in events I've joined another knit-along. I know. Feel free to judge me. And then I was able to make it to my other place my yarn had to go that evening, which was to your apartment for knitting, for the club knitting, which was great because it was good fun. It was nice to sit down and have some crafting time with everybody. But that was my yarn on the go this week, outside of the event we're going to talk about at events.
We're saving it all for events?
I think we should save it all for events.
Okay, we'll save it for events then. In that case, we are on to So Little Time.
Woo-hoo.
I have not been sewing, which means you've been sewing. What have you been sewing?
Oh, Jocelyn, just keep talking. Okay.
I thought really hard about pulling out my sewing machine this week, just so I'd have something to talk about, and I didn't.
I don't know, man. Well, you thought about it, so it's a start. I have continued work on the project bags. A few more have been made, a few more have been cut. So we creep ever and ever closer to having the Etsy shop up and running fully, which is good. I'm refining hashtags and tags for everything, getting the photos done nice and well, and getting my business cards ordered. That's gotta happen shortly. So, and applying for tables and different things. So, lots of stuff on the go for the shop. Thankfully, the core part, which is the creation part, is underway. I've been working on some purses this week, which are a bit of a bigger project. They're more detailed, they're more involved, more steps for them. So, and backpacks. So everything moves along slowly but surely. We close in the gap and get closer to go time, which is awesome. But that's my so little time. Just more so in straight lines, ladies and gents.
Straight lines. Nothing wrong with straight lines.
Not a lot of straight lines going on, which is fine because as soon as I've got some semblance of that sort of running, I have to immediately start sewing curves and get some costume work done. Yikes.
Yeah. So I have some theoretical spinning.
So do I.
I only just finished listening to the latest Knit More Girls podcast this morning, and they were talking about Tour de Fleece, which is where I'm getting all my Tour de Fleece news.
Which is fair.
So this week for Tour de Fleece, the training, it's spinning a 1 ounce or 25 gram bat of fibre just to make sure everything's working properly. My issue here being that I don't have a scale, so I think I'm just going to Google some pictures and eyeball it, because I don't want to buy a scale.
What's wrong with just buying a small digital scale? It's like a kitchen scale.
Because I'm lazy. Actually, I probably should. It would be really helpful.
In many, many things, my dear.
So...
Many things.
Yeah, I suppose I'll have to order myself a scale.
You don't even have to buy, like, a fancy, like, knitting scale. Like, legitimately, you're 2 blocks from a kitchen store?
What's your point?
You could get a scale and be back home in less than 10 minutes.
I think it's 3 blocks, so 20 minutes.
I apologize. No, actually, 25 minutes. There's very fancy cookie cutters in the store, so you might get distracted.
It'll be 30 minutes, because I have to stop for fancy coffee.
That's okay, yeah, okay. So, it's still under an hour, it's fine. A unique bunny visit might happen, you know, that's alright.
Oh, well, there's the half hour.
Yep, there you go. So, no, I think that's not too bad. My theoretical spinning is I finally have decided that a traditional drop spindle is not the way I'm going to go. I have been watching the videos and been doing the research, and I'm really enjoying the look of either a Turkish drop spindle or I think it's technically called a supported spindle. It's one of the spindles where it's done in the bowl, but it allows for a attenuated long draw. So,
sure.
Those are the two that I'm leaning towards. My goal for Tour de Fleece, which we will talk about in events, is slightly modified since I'll be using it as my way of learning how to spin this year.
That's basically what I'm using it for.
Oh, it makes sense to me.
Amateur Tour de Fleece participants!
Woohoo! Hey, I could always do a hand Tour de Fleece for the hand cyclists, which is the knitters who want to participate who don't spin but knit. So I do have other options.
Yeah.
I, too, am fairly fanatical about listening to the Knit More Girls. They might be, like, my favorite. Oh, man, I have a lot of favorites when I think about it that way.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear, indeed.
Events!
Events!
Shall we...
The beefy section.
Mash through the things that we've already mentioned?
I think so, yes.
So, you, and not I, are doing the Starting Point Mystery Knit-Along.
True story.
I don't remember when that started, but I was going to June 23rd, and there's a fancy coffee on the line.
It started 5 weeks previous to June the 9th. No, June the 12th. What the heck was last... No, June the 9th, because that was last Friday. So, late May. Off the top of my head. Listen, guys, I'm looking for a white ball of yarn on a beige carpet. Just...
Are you having fun?
I don't know. Don't let me go home without my ball of yarn.
Do you want a hand?
Yeah, we'll find it. Thank you. The golf club's exactly what I meant. Oh my word.
I'm sorry.
Really? I was probably so close it wasn't even funny.
A little bit. I'm like, you're so close that I'm not sure.
Yep. Nope.
Nope. Okay.
Nope. Just me being crazy.
Okay.
Anyway, as I actually work on my shawl while we're knitting here, while we're recording here today, because all I do right now is like, oh, I have a spare 30 seconds. Oh, work more on the shawl. This is my life. I have been really enjoying it. Perhaps not the pace at which I've had to be moving it. Nobody's fault but my own. I should have started on time. That would have made my life much easier. But I did it to myself, so that's fine. And I'm definitely going to do the shawl again. I mean, it won't be a mystery at that point, but that's okay. It was my first mystery knit along this one, and I'm really enjoying it, so. I know we also just did National or Worldwide Knit in Public Day.
Yes. Grab your tea for this one. We're going to talk for a bit.
Yeah, probably.
So, everything in the city was happening on Saturday.
No joke. All of it. In the city, out of the city, it was everybody and their cat decided that June the 10th was the day to do something outside. Which, I mean,
See, down the street,
weather-wise, it was beautiful.
So down the street there's a steampunk tea that we didn't go to. Out in Carberry they had a fibre festival that we didn't go to.
God, I would have loved to have gone to that Blue Hills Fibre Festival. Next year, ladies. Not June the 10th. Or not International Knit and Public Day.
There was some Knit and Public stuff going on down at Assiniboine Park that we didn't go to.
Nope.
What else? There was something else going on Saturday that we didn't go to. Oh, there was that pirate party that we didn't go to.
Yeah, that we didn't go to, yeah.
So those are all the things that we didn't go to.
Hey, we also could have gone to the Zombie Apocalypse Saturday evening just outside of town.
We also could have gone to the Roaring 2020s Saturday evening.
When I say that, like, there was a lot going on in and around the city last Saturday.
What's going on this Saturday? Like,
nothing.
Nothing.
To quote Reds, any other weekend. Any other, like, it doesn't need to be the same one, guys.
Oh, yes, it does!
Oh, my goodness gracious.
What we did get to was the Wild Rose Vintage Market in Old Market Square in the Exchange District downtown.
Totally worth it. Always fun to go.
Oh, yes. So we started the day with some brunch. We had some brunch at Stella's in Osborne, and then we meandered up past Unique Bunny,
which we had to stop in and check out because I hadn't been in before.
It sells adorable Japanese things. Candy, makeup,
face masks,
plushies, stationery,
socks. My new hamster dude.
Yeah.
I got a little plushy keychain hamster dude. He doesn't have a name yet, but as soon as he's got a name, I think he's been on one of the pictures with Clifford, your little plush
I haven't
dragon.
posted any of those yet, but yes, we took some pictures.
We'll have to put one up once he's got a name.
Yes. I thought really long and hard about buying a rainbow alpaca backpack.
Yes, you did.
Thought really hard about that. Didn't do it.
It's okay, I almost bought Sailor Moon mascara.
Did buy some face masks and some candy. There are pictures of the candy.
That's true, there was pictures of your knitting and your candy. And then we were off to the market.
Yes.
Because we had to do some knitting and eat donuts. And do some marketing.
All the places we went to.
We had to stop in to check out a new location of Tom Barton?
No, Leonard Taylor.
Leonard Taylor.
Who is a local clothing designer.
Some beautiful work.
Makes really cool stuff. I wander in there every so often and give him my entire paycheck.
Yep,
and
that happens.
I love absolutely everything that I have of his.
So we had to stop in there because they're in the old Imagine Games and Hobbies location, which is a board gaming store we used to go to a lot.
Just no longer a board gaming store. They just do the military stuff.
Yeah, they
now,
just
right?
do the surplus stuff now. Yeah. So that's fine. Then we decided we needed to do a mini fuel up before we went knitting with lemonades and cold coffees and donuts from Bro Nuts.
Yeah, gotta have some Bro Nuts. I had a watermelon mint was their special that week.
Oh, I bought 2 donuts. I'm not even gonna lie about that. 2 donuts. I liked the cinnamon sugar one, but not as much as the upside down pineapple cake one. That one was much better.
Both very tasty donuts.
Yeah, and I had a lemonade, which was super tart and perfect because lemonade should be nice, crisp and tart in my mind.
I was indifferent to the cold coffee. It was cold coffee. They're not known for their coffee. Their lemonades and their hot chocolates, fantastic.
Yeah, so that's okay. And then we set up and did some knitting while we enjoyed the music and puppy watching at the Wild Rose Vintage Market before we went shopping.
There was also the small child playing in the dirt.
There was a small child playing in the dirt, which was the same small child who played with my cane.
She was super into that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, she was all about the swing of that cane and watching the tip on the end of my cane roll around, so that's fine. All small children are fascinated with the ball at the end of my cane. Now, if you don't know anything about visual impairment assistant methods, it's called a mobility assistance cane. If you've ever watched a TV or movie show where they have a visually impaired or blind person it's the white cane that they use in front of them. That's what a mobility cane is. Mine doesn't have the standard tip. Mine looks like essentially a giant rubber ball on the end of my cane.
Like almost a baseball.
Almost baseball size. And that's fine. It's a hard plastic, and it gives me the same information. It's just of a larger size, so I get more information from it. and it lasts a bit longer for me because I walk so much. It is also exactly the right size for all small children under the age of 4 to think it's a toy at the end of my cane, which they already think is a toy because it's a stick. So I get a lot of squeaky shoed sized children chasing the ball at the end of my cane, which I find
cutest thing.
Adorable beyond all belief. So all the parents are always like, I have never once been offended because I have to stop so a little kid can play with my cane. So not a problem. I will do this any day of the week. It is not an issue. It is so freaking cute. So the kid who was playing in the dirt when we were knitting, we ran across later while we were shopping, and she had to have a good old time with my stick, as the case may be. I got some more knitting done on the starting point shawl, which was awesome. We did some Instagram-y photos, which is always good.
Worked on the bell rose a little bit, posed it artistically with some Japanese candy.
Got you some beard oil for your hair.
Yes, beard oil, cinnamon-scented beard oil for my hair.
Yep.
Not because I have a beard, but because I have thigh-length hair.
You do? I know you sat on it accidentally.
Yes, I frequently sit on it accidentally.
Which amuses me.
It's long enough for the person next to me to sit on.
It's true, it is. But that was fun. It was really good. It was nice. We didn't really get any sort of questions about our knitting, but we weren't in any of these obvious knitting in public places.
No.
Which was kind of the point this year, was to get out and go, that's it. Let's knit in public amongst non-knitters.
And we ran into, we were at the vintage market where there's a lot of handcrafters.
There is a lot of handcrafters.
Should we do some name dropping?
Sure.
There was one lady, Kelly Ruth, who does a lot of fibre crafty things, but this particular time she was selling woven art yarn jewelry that
so pretty.
She dyed it herself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's like those woven art yarn wall hangings, but as necklaces.
Yeah, no, this is really nifty. I really enjoyed it.
It's really neat. That particular aesthetic doesn't appeal to me, but I can certainly appreciate the work that goes into dyeing and weaving and like everything to make these things that looked good. I don't really get woven art yarn. To be totally honest, I don't get it. But I know lots of people really like it. So she does clothing as well. I have some of her stuff, like those strange purple pants.
Yep.
And that red tank top and the kind of bluish grayish scarf.
Oh, I like the scarf.
Yeah. Those are also all her.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, she sells her stuff at Tara Davis.
Okay.
Which is the one that's in the same building that Leonard Taylor's in now.
Okay. Oh, yeah, it's the one on the other side.
Yeah.
Okay. No, perfect.
So, all sorts of name dropping.
Oh, yes.
The other booth that was selling really cool handcrafty stuff I wrote it down, Heartleaf Design. She does crochet wire jewelry.
Yes, I'd
in
forgotten about that.
Super fine gauge wire.
Oh my god.
It doesn't even look like crochet. It just looks like
my brain goes, what?
Silvery spider web with beads on it, and she does all these leafy shapes.
Just
so pretty.
It's drool worthy is what it is.
It really is. I'm going to try really hard to find their Instagrams and link them and
totally worth checking out. These are amazingly talented people. I'm always astounded by just how talented people, even in our city, are. Never mind everywhere else.
Yeah, we have really, really talented handcrafters in this city.
Really do. It's amazing. I'm always so excited. But we had fun. We did some shopping. Eventually, the music got to be a bit too much for my poor brain pan. My poor brain pan that registers sound a lot better than it used to a decade plus ago. Find live music's usually a bit too loud, unfortunately, which is sad because it was a really good music. Like, I really enjoyed it. I just couldn't. I needed some sort of buffer to help block some of the excess sound I was hearing.
Fortunately, just across the street from Old Market Square is the Amsterdam Tea Room.
So clearly we had to go do some serious tea shopping.
Yes, there's a picture on Instagram of the serious tea shopping.
I smelt a lot of tea, and I was a struggle to only walk out with 2 people. Super tempted to get more. We gotta go back, because...
Oh yeah, really, really good tea.
So beautiful. I've had some of I bought a white Earl Grey, which I've had. Absolutely amazing. I think it's going to be much better as an iced tea. Like as a nice light iced tea. It'll be great. And I also bought a Tropic Thunder, which isn't strictly pineapple and coconut.
There's some other stuff in there.
Yeah, but it's a nice fruity one that I haven't had yet, so it's on my schedule to have, I think, probably tomorrow. I'd like to try my first cup of it, but the white Earl Grey was absolutely delightful. And then we both got a cup of their Summer Berry, which...
Summer Solstice.
Sorry, Summer Solstice.
Which I don't think it had any sweetener in it, and it was
no,
still
it did not.
quite
it was
sweet.
Beautiful. Like, yes, that needs to be made
nice
into an iced tea.
Pink iced tea. It was fantastic.
Absolutely. Mind you, I'm still of mind that I need to get some of that rhubarb splash.
Yes, that also smelled really good.
Yeah, so I think that might need to happen too. That was a wonderful cap to the afternoon, and then I believe we decided on the walk home we weren't quite done with knitting in public, so we had to go for sushi.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So that also happened. Because nothing says a great way to end knitting in public day quite like sushi. At our favorite sushi place, Wakoya. Here in the village! Sushi. They do an amazing miso soup. It's so good. And crunchy unagi. So why don't we talk about events that are upcoming or we're going to participate in?
Let's see.
No, we've got through all the ones that are winding down.
Stash Dash started.
Stash Dash is fully underway.
It started on May 26th. It's running to August 20th-ish.
Ish? We'll go with ish.
The idea being that you finish stuff. You finish stuff, and then you can count all the meters in the entire project.
Yes, you can.
The idea being that you're going for a goal of using up X kilometers of yarn. My goal...
Meters, isn't it? No, kilometers, you're right.
Yeah, they do it in kilometers.
Yeah.
My goal is not a specific distance. It is simply to finish everything I currently have on the needles, minus the wedding shawl.
This is totally fair. My goal is currently fluctuating between 5K and 7K. I haven't officially posted on the threads yet. I'm holding off probably to about the middle of July to see where I'm at, and then I will do my first posting and post my finish line for myself at that point. Mostly because if I continue along at the pace I'm currently moving at, 7K isn't outside of my realm of possibility.
As you sit there working on a 1,500 meter shawl.
As I sit here at the point where I think I will have done a 1,500 meter shawl in less than 4 weeks.
Yeah, I'm gonna come clean and say I'm not competing because you'd leave me in the dust.
Oh, well, the only person I'm competing with is myself. That's the only person I'm really interested in competing against.
Tour de Fleece already?
We have not talked about Tour de Fleece yet.
Okay. Tour de Fleece runs in concert with? In parallel with?
Parallel to?
At the same time as...
In concert with, I think is correct.
It goes along with the Tour de France, which is that cycling thing that athletic people do that lots of other people like to watch.
Oh my god, can we tell you didn't do sports as a person?
I don't sport. I athletic. I danced for a long time. I athletic. I just don't sport.
Oh, I sported in high school, but again, I've had to rein that in as I've gotten older, unfortunately. Again, not by choice, but because of vision loss. You don't want me playing baseball anymore. I can't track the ball. It's not good, guys.
Yeah, it's probably not the best of ideas.
Not the best of ideas for Jocelyn. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not going to officially participate, but I am going to use it as the sort of cooking with oil kind of concept to learn how to spin, which is something I've wanted to do for a while. I have fibre. I'm going to order my spindle here, and then I'm going to learn how to spin during Tour de Fleece this year.
Did I mention? I don't think I mentioned dates. That runs
1st to the 23rd, doesn't it?
The 1st to the 23rd, and rest days on the Mondays, just like the Tour de France.
That makes sense.
Moving along. Oh, we were gonna do the Woolsey Wool Faded Summer knit along.
We are.
Which doesn't really have a start date, but if you bring in your finished
shawl,
thing,
sweater,
because you can do the Find Your Fade shawl, the Free Your Fade shawlette.
It's a shawlette, yeah, and then the
or the
So Faded or So Faded Mini, which is the So Faded sweater or the kids size So Faded sweater.
Bring that in, having used at least one skein of Ale-greeya. I think that's our episode title.
I am so mispronouncing that quite happily, and and somebody will correct me, and please feel free to do so.
I'm pretty sure it's Ale-greeya, but
I just really like pronouncing it Ale-greeya, which is what my brain thinks because I split the word into two chunks for spelling, ale and greya. So that's what I want to pronounce.
I was feeling inspired after we talked about this after the last podcast, so I did some stash diving.
Yes, you did.
And so I've got, I think, at least 3 skeins, so, oh no, I'll have to go buy at least 1 skein of yarn, and,
The hardships we do for this podcasting.
Yeah, I think because I have full skeins, no, I have a half skein that I can probably use as well. Anyway, I did some stash diving. I'm going to use some stash, and only buy the requisite skein of, only buy the requisite skein of yarn so that it counts for the knit-along.
Sure. And more, should you desire.
Shh, don't remind me about the sidewalk sale.
So don't take you on the weekend? Got it.
Yeah.
Except, oh wait, you work Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. So we're going to end up down there on the weekend because that'll be your only time off.
I know.
I'm sorry. This is what you get. Unless you want to go after work one day.
No, it's far too much work.
Yeah, I thought so. What other events we got going? Oh, I might do the Grocery Girls Off Your Needles sweater knit along.
Oh my, what's this one? I haven't heard about this one.
So I might like the Grocery Girls podcast a lot. We're just going to go with a lot. The girls are... It's Tracy and Jody, and they're 2 sisters, and they are amazing, and they are just like rays of sunshine, and they're always so excited, and I get excited too, like I can't help it. It's contagious or something. It's great. They do a program, a YouTube thing with Craftsy, and it's called Off the Needles. So what they're doing is a summer knit along where they have they have the kit up on Craftsy, and for the life of me, no, I don't remember the name of the kit. I've got it written down at home so I can buy it. It's a bottom-up raglan sleeved sweater, and the raglan, where you do the join of the raglan part, is got a nice simple cable detail on it, and it's just freaking gorgeous because it's supposed to be a boxy slouchy sweater. There's like next to no shaping involved with this at all. So my brain's like, oh dude, I keep saying I'm gonna knit comfy sweaters to wear in the winter for myself. I feel like I need to stop. I need to walk the walk, not talk the talk. Like I need to commit to this and get it done. It's done in like an Aran worsted weight, so like really.
That won't take too long.
That's not gonna take long at all. If I can do a 1,500 meter fingering weight shawl in less than a month, I can totally manage a sweater. This is not a problem, even with my 55-inch wingspan.
I think you can do it.
I can totally do it. I'll have to order a kit for like a size or 2 up from the size I actually need if I can, so that I've got those extra skeins of yarn just for the extra length I'm going to need in the torso and in the arms, which is totally fine, but it is a beautiful, most of it's knit in the round, and it's mostly garter. Like I can fly through that like nobody's business. And again, with next to no shaping, it's wonderfully approachable for perhaps people like me who've never actually done a sweater project before and keep saying, I want to knit sweaters. So, that's my plan. I think I'm going to join that one. That is a last-minute decision, as all of my best decisions are, clearly.
Cough, cough, starting point.
Oh my god. The other one is, for me, because I know the knit-alongs aren't a big thing for you, is get more Grocery Girl knitting.
Oh my goodness. You have a new obsession.
I might have watched all of them. They're talking about maybe doing a summer knit-along to celebrate Canada's... How old are we this year?
150.
We're 150 this year?
Ish.
Whew,
depending on how you want to count it. The government says it's 150.
Okay, that works for me. What I might do is, because I have a very large, obsessive love affair with ancient art yarns, which are an amazing Canadian dyer.
Wait, so what are all the requirements for this knit-along?
You get entries for using a Canadian designed pattern.
Okay.
Canadian yarn.
Okay.
If it's got Canada in the name, which, as a super sidebar, the Cozy Up with the Stitchin' Sisters, thinking about randomly just renaming all of their patterns so they say poutine in the title, so you can count all of them. I'm serious. If they do that and they get that big behemoth of a shawl pattern that they've been working on out, I will totally do that shawl. I don't care what it's called.
So if I do like a freestyle shawl with that yarn that I bought, the fliss and the Barocco Summer Silk.
It might count. You don't think you get it for the yarn, because I don't think either of those yarns are Canadian.
Handmaiden.
Is Handmaiden Canadian?
I think so. I'd
We'll
have to double check
that one.
But
So
if I'm freestyling out of my own head, since I'm Canadian,
you're
does that
the
count?
designer. I think so.
Okay, if I write it down and give it a Canadian name, does that also count?
I think you might have to message them and see if you could get 2 entries for that. I'm going to go with the Find Your Fade shawl right now, because I know for sure I'm going to do it all in variegated yarns or in speckled yarns and stuff. So I know for sure I'm going to be picking up some ancient art yarns for that. Or if the Stitch and Sisters are able to get out that behemoth shawl pattern that they've been working on. That's not the name of the shawl. That's how big this thing is.
Okay.
The spine is cabled.
Oof.
And it is this beautiful, I'm going to say like 1.5 to 2-inch cable edging at the bottom of this triangular shawl. So I'm thinking like, yes, but I would totally do that one instead with a Canadian yarn. No problem whatsoever. No problem. In a nice worsted weight, so it's like massively huge because...
Dragonfly fibers are Canadian.
Yes, they are.
Nope. I have yarn. I
said
have
it.
Canadian
I
yarn.
didn't even remotely help.
Thunder.
What I love is that nobody can see you freak out and stare out the window and stop talking with the big bug-eyed look. And all I can imagine is my sister's black Labrador. Black Lab. This is the water dog that doesn't like water, okay? When it rains, she will not go outside to go to the bathroom because she doesn't like getting wet.
I forget that there's 2 dogs in your house because I almost never see that one.
Poor Dee she was a rescue puppy, so we have some things we just don't deal with well. She's always going to be that way. That's not a problem. Now that we're done getting the weather distracting us. So I've either got 1 or 2 more knit-alongs for sure I'm probably going to jump in on this summer. So like I'm really heavily leaning towards that 7K for Stash and Dash. Because there's also the PAL, hey, which I'm technically participating in right now, though I haven't gone on and shown anything for her. But I am using the Starting Point Mr. Knit-along. Jody is a podcaster, so I could use this pattern for that as well too. So always looking around and making every inch count if I can. I like knit-alongs. What? It's always fun and exciting, and you meet new people. We all know about me and collecting friends.
You do collect a lot of people.
I really do.
Okay, so that's all the alongs.
Mm-hmm.
What else? We have the local fibre festival. That is the
September.
Manitoba Fibre Festival, September 15th and 16th.
Yep.
We're excited for. I think we've already mentioned that. And then we have some non-knitting things that our knitting and sewing and whatnot will come to. We have Icon, July 21st to 23rd.
Yep.
So at the very end of Tour de Fleece. Then on the 23rd, I am getting on a plane to Vegas for B-Sides and DEF CON.
I'm going home for a nap.
Between Icon and B-Sides and DEF CON, I'm basically going to be at conventions for 2 weeks straight.
Yep.
Very nearly.
Oh, to be under 30.
There are some downtime days in there.
Which is good.
Like my travel days,
you're going to need them.
My travel days, I'm on planes, and then there's a day after each of the travel days.
Okay, that's not too
bad. So there's some downtime, and there's a day in between the conferences. So it's not like I'm not going to sleep. I'm just not going to sleep very much.
Oh well. We've also got C4 at the end of October.
That is the Central Canada Comic Con.
Mm-hmm. That I'm looking forward to. It is the big fandom-y nerd, geek, whatever sort of preface. It goes from books to movies to wrestling to comics to a Magic the Gathering tournament. Like, they cover all their bases with C4.
And I'm learning how to sew for it so that I can do a steampunk Rapunzel costume.
Yes. All right. Shall we talk about our magazine review?
Yes. Well, it is your magazine.
I can't help myself. It was really pretty.
It is really pretty. We are reviewing the Vogue Knitting Spring-Summer 2017 issue.
Mm-hmm.
It retails for $7.99 US, $8.99 Canadian, and as we were just mentioning, it is a magazine that Jocelyn has just bought.
I may have been in Michael's the other week. When I said I did a lot of stuff last week, I mean, I did a lot of stuff last week, guys.
You went everywhere.
I did go everywhere. And I saw it, and I was like, ooh, lace. And then I flipped to, like, the third page in, and, like, about the fourth pattern, I was like, done! And it went in the basket, and it came home.
It's a very pretty magazine. Being a, Vogue magazine, it's very fashionable, I have written down.
Very fancy.
It is very fancy.
I fell across a couple ads in there for yarn and stuff I had never seen before. So I've got some researching to do. Because nothing says you have a yarn problem like finding more yarn companies.
Oh, hey, look. I flipped open to a random page and went, ooh, yarn! Ooh, that's a pretty color. Oh, hey, look, it's Dragonfly Fibers.
Well, that explains that.
Yeah.
So, I picked it up because I was like, 2 patterns, $9 Canadian. I've already completely justified purchasing this magazine just based off the 2 patterns. Whatever else happens to be in there, good, bad, or otherwise, absolutely. Totally not a problem. Then my brain went, oh, we could review this on the podcast.
Well, now you have to buy it.
Well, that didn't actually occur to me until I even got home and I started looking at it. Did we want to go section by section and discuss the patterns? I think might be the best way to do it.
Sure.
Just based off of description purposes. Because it's a lot of pieces are lace, I'm going to let Diana do a lot of the describing because I get to beautiful, delicate, nice, and feminine, and that's about all the detail I'm seeing most of the time without a magnifying
it's
glass.
lace, so it's full of pretty holes.
Yes, it is full of pretty holes. Pretty on purpose holes.
Yes.
So the first thing that I had marked off, and I think it's just done by the author, like the designer. I'm not sure if that's what those are the patterns are called, but was the Yun Yun. I actually wrote it down.
Okay, I'm going to flip until I find...
It's pretty early on. Mostly because it started with, like, the Lace Escape section. I mean, we're bypassing the editor's review, which was really good, and the articles that they had in there that wasn't knitting, which were really enjoyable. I know for me, overall, I like that Vogue puts the patterns at the back of the book. All of the patterns at the back of the book. So you get to literally strictly enjoy the magazine for magazine purposes.
And all the important stuff's at the back, yeah.
And the important stuff's at the back. Like, I enjoy that split. That's really nice.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, this thing. The big, square, poncho-y sweater thing.
Yeah.
That is lacy and pretty.
Not for me.
Yeah. Wherein the lace looks like shells.
Not for me.
Not for you.
For my 10-year-old niece.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hot pink?
Oh, well, clearly.
Yeah.
She only exists in 80s neon colors, people.
Yeah.
By her own choice. So, yes, obviously it's going to have to be in hot pink. Again, yes, it's so her, but it's got that nice sort of feminine, delicate look to it, which will be really nice as an added benefit, or bonus, if you will. Likely will drive me nuts, but that's okay.
It's got, like, I can't even figure it out. It's like, got, like, twisted broomstick lace?
It's really, I think, and I didn't read the patterns too closely, unless they were the ones I hearted for myself. I'm not gonna lie, but having that in my repertoire of something that I can make for her for when she's like 16 or something, like we might have also come down from the neon pink colors, so we might be something else at that point. That's a whole 6 years away, folks. Our color selections might have changed at that point.
We could go goth by then.
You know what? Her mom would be really proud if she did. My sister did a goth phase while she was in her mid-20s. I'd actually have to ask her. I don't remember how long it lasted. I think if you've got that nice, narrow shoulder, rectangular frame, make my niece sound like a ruler. Well, I guess most kids are kind of like rulers, so that makes sense. It's going to flow and drape amazingly well on this kid.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So for me, not so much. I have to be a little more careful with ponchos and me. However, for her frame and her height and the way her body's working out for her, oh, yeah, it's gonna look great.
Oh, yes. Yes, that would be very cute on her.
Absolutely. You're gonna notice there's a lot in the lace collection that I like.
So on the very next page, there is a lace hoodie, which sounds stupid.
Oh, which one's that one called?
Brooke Nico?
Oh, that's the one I hearted for myself.
Yeah, me too. A lace hoodie sounds stupid, but it's actually freaking gorgeous and I need it. I needed this stupid lace hoodie in my life.
Everybody...
Is hoodie a Canadian word? Hooded sweater.
Yeah, because in
Hooded
UK,
zippered sweatshirt.
you usually call it like jumpers or pullovers. I think hoodies is us. There's another one that you'll hear occasionally people call
in
hoodies.
Saskatchewan, it's a bunny hug.
That's what it is. Bunny
Yeah,
hugs. I'm not quite sure on the bunny hug thing.
I don't know.
But yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, they could. I'm Canadian. I'm not really aware of it being a culturally specific thing, but it could be. Anyway,
it calls itself a hoodie.
It's a hoodie it's a pullover with a hood. So my brain goes hoodie.
Yep.
It's so pretty though.
It's got 3 different lace patterns on it, and it's just so pretty.
Oh yeah. I want to do it in a cream or a white.
I didn't know I needed this.
Or like a really nice, I'm gonna go light stone gray, or like brick red.
Yeah.
Ugh, be so nice. So nice.
Pretty.
So, you know.
So pretty.
It's gone on my list of... By the way, by the point we got to this pattern, I was pretty sure I was buying the magazine.
Just based on that spread alone?
Yep. Just based on those first 2 alone.
Okay. What was the next thing that you liked?
I will show you.
The...
Hopefully
thing by
that...
Audrey Drysdale. That's this thing.
Yep. I skipped over the skirt.
Yeah, I don't really like knitted or crocheted skirts. A woven skirt is alright, but I tend not to like knitted or crocheted skirts. That's just me. Obviously, lots of people like them.
I don't. It's fine. Everybody to their own.
The next thing that I was super into were these thigh-high lace stockings, which is also something I didn't know I needed.
I think every girl in their wardrobe requires a pair of old-fashioned thigh-high stockings. Which ones are those called?
Senja Jarva? I don't... Senja Jarva.
Oh dear.
It's probably more like Senja Jarva.
They were pretty. I liked them. I'm not a huge stocking person.
Neither am I, but they're so pretty.
They're not on the I wouldn't potentially consider them list.
The lacy bits look leafy, and then in between there's cabley bits.
Yes. Yeah, no, they're a really nice pair of stockings. They would take
so
forever
pretty.
to knit. Mind you, it would mean I'd have a pair of stockings that fit me properly. So there's nothing wrong with that. Can you tell we're into lace?
We like lace.
Lacy things. She's getting really into looking at it. It's going to get hard to get Diana to talk. She's busy ogling.
Sorry, I'm looking at the pretty pictures of all the things that I don't have time to knit.
Yep. They do have other sections. There is more than just the lace section. So if you're not a lace knitter, it's okay.
The lace.
I know, the lace is really pretty. What else did you like in the lace section?
That's actually it for hearts. I mean, everything's pretty, but that's it for
the,
I need this in my life.
Yeah. Yeah, that was it for me for the everything in the lace section that I need in my life. That's not saying I wouldn't knit the other ones, but I don't feel this dire urge to go buy a bunch of Shibuya yarn and cast them on right now. So,
butcher the pronunciation of this word. Where is the word?
Where is the word?
Sankuhar gloves?
Sure.
It is a Scottish thing. It is the Fair Isle knitting where all the designs are in a little grid.
All right.
So,
well, fascinated. I find sometimes I can be a bit too busy for my preference.
I've determined that I actually super like doing Fair Isle knitting, so I will probably make some gloves like this.
That's fair.
And some socks like this, and
Why not?
probably not a cowl because I'm not so big on the cowls or that vest. But there's also a hat. I mean, nothing in here is hearted. It's just I really like the look of this, and I will probably do it at some point in my life.
That's fair. The other thing I liked was the Catherine Hunt one.
Ah, that's this one. There's a giant mesh lace shawl with tassels.
Yeah.
It's very nice looking.
Mm-hmm. It's giant. It's a shawl. It's mesh, so I could get away with it sometimes in the warmer months. And I have discovered I enjoy tassels.
I do not enjoy tassels.
I enjoy tassels.
Actually,
I didn't think I was going to.
tassels on a case-by-case basis.
Okay.
Some things absolutely need tassels or they don't look right.
Okay.
But as a general rule, I tend not to like tassels.
Well, I mean, I am a non-pom-pom on the hat person. As a general rule. I very rarely like pom-poms on hats, so I totally understand.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's a very nice looking shawl.
Not hearted, but definitely one of those ones that I'm thinking, you know what, at some point, I'd like to do that. This is the same with the relaxed tee. The only other thing that I have is the Jeremy King.
Oh, there's actually a crochet pattern in here I didn't notice before.
Yes, there is.
Oh, look at that. Oh, that is, in fact, the one that you just said.
Yep.
Oh, I might have missed this page or something. That's... Okay. Well, that looks like a super upgraded granny square? That doesn't sell it properly, because it's way nicer looking than a granny square. It's got sort of the shell pattern on part of it that a granny square does.
It does, yes, but yeah, the super upgraded granny square is probably not the best sales pitch.
It doesn't look anything like a granny square aside from it has a similar shell pattern. It's a very nice looking cardigan that I would totally wear.
A nifty sort of spring summery cardigan.
It would.
Yeah, I don't have it hearted because, I mean, we're well into summer now, so it's not something I feel the dire need to cast on like I do with lace stuff right now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely one of those, yeah, I'm liking that pattern. I think that I could do something with that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not this particular color because
I'm not
yellowy
sold on
green.
I'm not sold on the color,
on either
but
of us.
I can. In a coral was what I was actually thinking doing it in.
Ooh, yeah.
So, you know.
Purple.
Purple. Obviously purple.
Always purple.
Or like a russety orange color.
Okay.
But again, I can wear those colors, so. Not everybody can. Pick your favorite summer color and go with that color.
And then we're into the pattern bits.
We are, which is, I just really like that it's in the back half of the book and it's just all there. I don't know, call me crazy.
Excuse me. Yeah, so Vogue knitting. I might need to steal a couple of patterns away over to my photocopier. No, I should probably buy my own. It's a good looking magazine and it has some good articles in it.
Overall, super impressed with Vogue knitting. I haven't picked up many of the Vogue knittings before, so this is my very first serious sort of look at it. Serious enough that I signed up for a subscription.
Ooh, that's very serious.
So it's a super serious enjoyment on my part. So we all know I'm going to say buy it.
I'm going to say pick it up, take a look, and probably buy it.
Yeah. Oh, it's just such a beautiful lace collection. I want to be tall and modelly and blonde and living in Paris and wearing all that white lace. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's...
Well, I don't need to be blonde, but tall.
Well...
Tall and skinny.
I would be okay being shorter and skinny. My
So this is the skinny part.
I think it's the skinny part we're going for. That's too much work. I can't be bothered with that. I'd rather have cake.
Yeah.
So, would rather have cake. Diana, my dear, would you like to tell everybody where they can find us?
Oh, I didn't pull up the thing.
Again?
I'm gonna have to do it from memory, because my phone's in the other room and I'm too lazy to go get it.
Can you do it from memory?
Mostly.
Okay. Give it a go.
You can find us on Ravelry, Pinterest, Instagram, and Facebook as Northern Knits Podcast. On Facebook we have a group and a page.
Not everybody likes pages, not everybody likes groups. And I was like, fine, let's just have both and then you can pick what you want.
Yeah, so I think there's a mechanism for linking the Instagram to the Facebook page, but not the group.
But not the group, no. Well,
So,
what works a lot better for the group, so they're, because I find usually you don't get quite as many postings as you do on a page, and that works better for some people.
And there's analytics and metrics and stuff on the page that's handy for us.
Absolutely.
So, anyway, both are active. Both are us, both are active.
I try as much as I can.
What else do I want to say? Oh, you can find all our show notes at northernknitspodcast.com. And you can send any questions, concerns, comments, etc. To us at northernknitspodcast@gmail.com.
Please feel free to join us on Ravelry. Like us, rate us, share us with your friends.
Give us a review on iTunes.
We'd love a review on any of the apps. Anywhere.
Review us anywhere. We don't have any of those yet.
Reviews, questions, comments, concerns. I keep meaning to open up some threads in the Ravelry group. I promise I will do that at some point. Bad Jocelyn, I've fallen down. It's because I didn't write it down. I know better. I gotta remember to write things down. That'll help me out a bunch. I can be found on the internets, most places under Amber Dragon. Once you've found me in one location, it's a picture of my actual face. It's not too hard to find me elsewhere. I will say, easiest place to come find me on? Ravelry. Either under the group, podcast, or under myself, which is Amber Dragon 1. And do it up from there. I am most frequently on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Those happen to be my favorite haunts, as the case may go. But I also have Snapchat, Periscope, YouTube channel. I run 3 blogs.
So when do you sleep?
I don't sleep.
Right.
No, I sleep quite well, thank you very much. Just not for 12 hours a day. I prefer sleeping anywhere from 6.5 to 7.5 hours.
I can be found several places on the internet. For my fibre exploits, I am wool-rat on Ravelry. And I am Fire, Water, and Fibre, fibre spelled Fiber, on Instagram and Twitch. I'm trying this thing where I have a regular streaming schedule. So I'm aiming to stream at 8:30 p.m. Central Canadian Time, Central Daylight Time.
Central Daylight Time, CDT right now.
Yes, 8:30 p.m. CDT on twitch.tv/firewater and fiber.
You can usually find me in the chat room.
Yep, Jocelyn moderates.
I moderate, I log in and answer questions and chat.
Sometimes my brother shows up, sometimes my fiance shows up.
Yep.
And mostly other random people show up, and we have lovely conversations about knitting.
Absolutely, which is the point, to enjoy and share the fiber fun. Fiber fun.
I think that's all of us on the internet.
That's all of us on the internets. Until next week, I'm Jocelyn.
And I'm Diana.
Saying no matter where your week takes you,
don't forget to knit.
Too much fun. I should not make fun of you. I really shouldn't. That's not fair. Look at that.
Oh no!
I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows while we podcasted.
Nice.
That's a solid 2 hours worth of work. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to edit so much. I should finish eating my cake.
You should.